Hello everyone, good evening, selamat malam semuanya, apa kabar? How are you all doing? Welcome to 100% Film Chat, X 5 Films for Freedom 2022 in collaboration with British Council Indonesia. Jadi malam ini sesi film chat kita berkolaborasi dengan British Council Indonesia dalam rangka Five Films for Freedom, yaitu acara tahunan yang diselenggarakan oleh BFI Flare. So tonight's guest is a film director from India who is not a stranger to our festival because we already screened his films twice, 2 years in a row. Last year we screened his film titled My Mother's Girlfriend, and the other year before we screened his film titled Sunday, which this year was selected in the lineup for BFI Flare's Five Film for Freedom, which is an annual event that they hold since a few years ago. This film, Sunday, also gained recognition in other international film festivals, and tonight we will have a chat with Mr. Arun Fulara about his film. I will now invite him to join us. Going to join. And everyone, please stay tuned until the end because, as usual, we have some prizes for those who have the best comments or have great questions. So feel free to join us in the question box. Hi Arun.
Hi Rain. How are you doing?
I'm good. How about you? How are you?
I am good. I'm very good. I'm in London for the festival for BFI Flair.
Ah, of course.
Yeah, just adjusting to the cold weather. So
yes.
Yeah.
Which is very different than our typical weather that we usually have every day, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, I was in Bombay before I left, and the temperature there was 39 degrees Celsius, and it's 11, 12 degrees Celsius here. So yeah.
Oh wow.
Takes some getting used to.
That's a drastic change.
Yeah.
So, how is it? How's the festival over there?
The festival is quite charming. It's in this lovely, location or that the BFI has, right? It's just on the river. It's on the southern bank of the river, and it's an amazing cinema here. They've got 3 screens. There's a library downstairs. There is a media tech, and I mean, it's like the kind of place you would want to be when you are, just about starting your, I mean, maybe like when you are 18, 19, 20, right? I mean, just getting exposed to a lot of cinema. They do a lot of screenings here, I'm told. So it's just lovely. It's a very lovely place. There's the National Theatre next to it. There's a lot of, very enthusiastic crowds at the festival. And the weekend is, quite packed. So it's lovely to be here.
Yeah, and congratulations, for your film to be selected in the lineup. So, if I'm not mistaken, besides being screened worldwide, it's also screened in London as well.
Right. Yeah. So it's playing at the festival, and alongside that, like you mentioned, it's a part of Five Films for Freedom. So it's on YouTube on the British Council channel, and it's playing in all over the world with partners like you screening it in the locations. Yeah.
Yeah, and we actually have screened Sunday a few years ago, I think.
Yeah.
No, not last year. The
Last
other,
year.
yeah. And also, we also screened your other film, My Mother's Girlfriend,
My
also.
mother's.
So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, that was it's quite an experience, and it's I think Sunday is a charming film, and it's really heartwarming because I think it's a short film that shows how somebody tries to find small joys in life, So,
Right.
and what inspired you to make that film?
So Sunday like came out of a personal experience. I had been in Bombay for working as a writer for a long time, and obviously with writing as a profession comes loneliness. It's a part of the package, and so yeah, I mean, I was at a barber shop one day, and I've been going to barber shop all my life, and you never really feel anything there when someone touches you. But that day, this barber boy touched my cheeks, and I kind of felt it. It was quite strange. I am straight, and I was sitting in the chair and kind of questioning why that would happen, and it immediately struck me that I've been deprived of a simple human touch for a long while, right? I mean,
Mm.
so that kind of set me thinking, and while sitting in that chair, the story kind of for the film came to me. If instead of me there was someone who was interested in this barber boy, if that person had a crush on this boy, and knowing how our societies are, people are not allowed to express their sexuality. Of course, things are changing, but there are still a lot of people who are unable to, make that choice for themselves. So in the space of that half an hour, 45 minutes that I was sitting in the chair, the kind of story just came to me. And if you've seen the film, there's not really too much of a plot to the film. It's just about this character, going to the shop to just get a glimpse of this guy he has a crush on. And I just essentially wanted to replicate the experience that someone might have, and have the audience uh, feel what that character may feel, and therefore empathize with him. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's how the story came to me.
And why did you feel that it was an important story to tell?
Uh, I think for me, I am attracted to stories that we don't necessarily easily see on the screen. Stories of characters who we've failed to highlight in our stories, and wherever there is something new, something fresh, and in this case, clearly. The protagonist played very beautifully by the actor Shrikant Yadav, who I'm a huge fan of, and I've worked with him earlier, as an assistant on longer feature projects, so someone he represents someone who we've not really seen as protagonists on our scenes and our screens and our films. And I have had been wanting to work with him for a long time. And when the story came to me, it was quite clear that it uh, and when I was doing the research for the film, we met a lot of people through this NGO that works within the homosexual community. It's called Humsafar, and I met people who who described their own experiences, and it matched very closely with what story we were trying to tell. And
Mhm.
that just made me realize that we've not seen those stories on the screen, and that therefore pushed me to kind of make the film.
Yes, and I think it's a good um, a good idea to have these kind of touching stories because I do see a lot of um, short films, especially short films with queer themes that sometimes that mostly bring up heartache and sadness. But I mean, of course, there are short films that uh, brings joy. I mean, that depicts joy, but it is a bit rare that these films are made. So kudos to you for doing that. And I think I would like to ask you about the process of making film. Actually, no, sorry. When it first premiered in India, did it premiere in India first, or was it in another country?
No, it started with a festival in Greece, and then after a few festivals, we eventually had a screening here in Bombay with Kashish, which is one of the biggest
Oh yeah,
festivals here.
with
So
Sridhar.
yeah, yeah, with Sridhar, yes.
How was the reception in India?
I mean, unfortunately for us, the film is a pandemic film, so we've not really, had. This is the first festival actually that I'm attending, which is in-person screening, and we've been
Mm,
to around 60 festivals now. So most of the festivals have been virtual festivals, and therefore it's very difficult to gauge audience reactions. Of course, we did receive a lot of positive feedback online, and clearly in the journey of the film, we've had many people reaching out and talking about how touching. The film is, and how they kind of really identified with the protagonist journey. The film won
mm-hmm.
the Best Emerging Filmmaker award at Kashish. So I would like to assume that it was received very, very well by at least the jury there. But yeah, I think the reception has been good. But it's also the thing that it's mostly people from within the community who have seen it, and people who are interested in, who are already kind of, supportive of the ideas that the film carries. So I think it would be very interesting when we were to screen the film in not so sympathetic, with not so sympathetic audiences, which is where
Yeah.
I would like to see how the reaction is, and if it manages to touch them in the same way that it touched the other people, right? So
Mm-hmm.
yes, I think it's been received well from people in the community who've seen the film, because like you said, it's not a sad story. It's not
Yes.
tragic. There is some sadness. There is pathos. There is, it's poignant. It's not a very
Mm-hmm.
joyful film, but it's also not like a very sad film. So that, I think, that aspect people have kind of really liked and appreciated. Yes.
I think it's yeah, you're right. It's not really. I mean, it does have sadness, but it also has hope. I think that's what kind of resonates with me, because
Right.
yeah, like I said, it's really charming because it's something that can happen in everyday life, and as you said, someone in that position, um, you know, might have these crushes, and it's something that can be very real. And yeah, I do agree that it's like I said earlier, it's like a small joy in life, I guess, for some
Right.
people. I
Right.
guess
Right.
it's like when you go to school and then you see your crush in class, or it's
Absolutely.
something like that,
Absolutely.
I suppose.
Right,
And
right.
how,
So
yeah.
I actually, I mean, while making, I went back to how I used to behave back in school in front of my own crushes, right? You
Mhm.
know someone, you are in front of that person, but you can't really talk, fluently, and you struggle for words, but you are trying to, get a glance of that person, and you make reasons and excuses to be in places where your crush is, right? So you make sure that you are present there, and so that was obviously one of the ways of kind of me trying to figure out how this character would behave. And I think it's also it's a one-sided love story, which is also kind of a universal. I mean, all of us, I think, have been in that place where we kind of had feelings for someone, without being reciprocated. So that, and I mean, and in Hindi cinema and Indian cinema, we have a long tradition of those kind of stories. So I wanted it to be partly there to be some music, which is so integral to Indian cinema, And so yeah, I kind of drew in from these inspirations, if one can say. So yeah.
And how was the filming process? Was it a fast one, or did you have to, was there some hurdles that you have to come across? Would you care to tell us how it went?
I mean, this is my debut shot, and we shot this quite immediately after we had finished working. I had finished working as an assistant on a longer feature, and all the crew of this film has been borrowed from that film. Everybody who was an associate. So I was the associate director, and I was directing. The associate cinematographer of that feature film is my DOP Rangoli. The art team worked on this film as well. So I essentially, uh, brought over the team that I had worked with in the previous feature onto my short film, and they were all friends. So it was a small group of people. I put in my money, and it was quite smooth because we actually just shot it over a day, and in a day we kind of managed to finish it. Shot very close to where I live in Bombay, and yeah, I mean, every it was quite smooth. I mean, the actors I knew, Shrikant, who plays the man who plays Kamble, is, like I said, a favorite of mine, and we didn't really have too much of a hassle. I mean, except for finding that barber shop and choosing it, out of the 2025 that we saw. Um, yeah, I mean, it was very smooth. We've been very lucky with this film. It's a very, very small crew that made it possible, and it's amazing how, the film has managed to travel to so many festivals and touch so many people. I mean, I really don't have any good stories, which is good because you don't really want those stories, right? You want the shoot to be hassle free. So yeah, so I'm very happy that I don't really have those stories to share. Yeah,
So it's a no drama film production,
yeah, yeah.
one
It
of
was
the
a
rare
smooth.
ones.
Yeah, it was. It's also because it's so small. Like we shot for one day, and by the time, like it was done. Like it was done very very quickly, and we had a very good crew, like people who worked, in features, who are professionals, and there wasn't really any stress. We were working in our home territory, like we knew people around, and um, I guess yeah, that's the way to make small budget independent films.
Mhm. And for this film, did you have to come up with for the funding? Did you have to come up with your own? Did you have sorry? Did you have sponsors, or was this something that was a labor of love for you? So you came up with the funding yourself.
So I had some money, and I had money for the shoot, and I could have had money for like 4 or 5 months of rent. I said, if I delay, then this money will go into rent, so I might as well just use this money and shoot the film, and then figure out how to get the post production done. So I put in all that money into the production, and then I had no money, and then I had to kind of take up other projects to kind of pay for my rent and also to pay for the post production. So eventually, of course, I ended up borrowing money from family, from my sister, and also from a friend who came on board. Towards the end of the project when we were struggling to finish the film, Pooja, who is a producer on the film. So yeah, I mean, it's like it's beg, borrow, not steal, but begging and borrowing that got us through to make this film.
But it just shows that you have the support of the people around you, because
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
are willing to help you out and support you.
Yeah, yeah. It's a huge privilege to have people around who are willing to kind of help you with your dreams and
Mhm.
projects. So it's a huge privilege.
Mhm. Oh, by the way, there's someone commented down here from Cinema Soldier. Hey Arun, big fan of your films always. Best wishes for your next. And there's also a question from the audience in the question box. Um,
Right.
what is your best unforgettable Sunday?
It's a tough one. We actually shot the film on a Sunday. So,
Ah,
I'll go
it's
with,
like a
like, this
full
is my
circle.
first short film of mine, first film that I've actually shot. And in hindsight, I mean, it was a little terrifying because it was, my first time leading the set, so to say. And also because I was also the producer, so donning two hats. But yeah, I mean, looking back, I think this was quite. I mean, on that day, it just came and went. I didn't even realize when the day ended, but it was probably the most that I have been able to accomplish in a day ever on any day actually, not just a Sunday. So yeah, the day we shot this film is one of the most unforgettable Sundays of my life. Yeah,
Yeah, it's one of those memorable. Well, I guess it's a really nice start towards your filmmaking. I mean, as a director, to
yeah,
start your filmmaking journey with one film that is pretty much drama free and very very pleasant to work with. I
right,
think
right.
that's a really good omen towards your career.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, and I guess I want to ask, how long did the whole process from the beginning that you wrote the script until the editing, the post production? How long did it take to finish the film?
So, I mean, like I said, we shot the film in a day. I
Mm-hmm.
came up with the story somewhere around May that year, 2019, and then we worked on the script for a bit. But the prep kind of took a month or so for figuring out locations and the logistics of the shoot and everything. And we shot it in a day in November. And then it took some time because I ran out of money. So it took some time to get money for the post production, which
Mm-hmm.
then took a year to finish the film, right? So 2019, 2018 we shot, and 2019 October, November is when we finished the final DCP of the film. So yeah, it actually took a long time eventually. So as short as it is, it still took me a year to finish the film. Yeah.
I see, I see. And that's why it came out. I mean, it premiered during the pandemic.
Right,
Is that
right.
so, right? And you mentioned that it premiered in Greece. Was that
Yes.
before the pandemic or after?
Uh,
I mean, yeah.
I I think I mean it had not yet hit India. I think,
Mm-hmm.
but it had started. Obviously, it started in China by then. This was February 14th, actually,
Ah, yeah, yeah.
2020, in
Mm-hmm.
positive at a festival, lovely festival called Positively Different Short Film Festival, which screens a small selection of films that are at the intersection of human rights, disabilities, gender, sexuality, equality, women's rights. So
Mm-hmm.
lovely festival. That's where it screened, and then as it was like going to screen at a few more festivals, then festivals started canceling. It was at Rose Filmdagen in Amsterdam, and Amsterdam cancelled the festival in March. And then for 3-4 months there was nothing happening. And then again, after the first sort of wave had passed and people were beginning to find their feet and festivals started figuring out how to do virtual screenings, that's when, yeah, the film actually kind of restarted its journey. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So just just before the pandemic, and I guess it's really great that you finished the film before the pandemic. So it
Thankfully,
was
yeah.
in a way, you had one screening in Greece, and then after that, online screening.
Yeah, luckily.
Mhm. And well, I guess like you said, human rights film festivals, like the one in Greece and also in Jakarta here in Indonesia for our festival, we do actually show a lot of short films that has themes about being different and also about human rights issues in general. And it does
Right,
seem to be a powerful medium to raise awareness on issues, especially issues affecting minorities and also the marginalized communities, including
right,
also queer communities. So,
right.
is this also something that's true in India also, where in your community probably, or is it? I don't know. I think I'm seeing this in some countries that it's like that, but I know I can't generalize for everyone. So I guess that's why I'd like to ask you this, because for in Indonesia, it's connected to the censorship that we have here. Usually for feature length films, we have if we want to screen it in film theaters in cinemas, there's a pretty lengthy censorship process that we have to go through. But with short films, there there are more venues and places to be shown at, not necessarily have to show it at cinemas. So um, we're a little bit more freer with our themes to show, and
Right,
it's not really censored. So how
right.
is it in your part of the world?
I mean, I don't think it's too different. I think, in the last few years have been struggling very, very significantly with censorship issues here. The government the right-wing government here in power I mean, not that there was no censorship before that. I mean, obviously, the society is quite conservative, and therefore the governments have been conservative, and uh, so censorship has been always a big deal, but it's also become much stronger, I think, and much more rigid in the last few years with the right-wing government here, and any story that doesn't fit in with their definitions of of society, I think are facing much more difficulties as far as, and but also I think what it does is the writers and filmmakers and other artists automatically start self-censoring themselves because they know that the work is probably not going to fly if the themes are or if the representation is of a certain kind. So there is a self censorship that happens automatically much before the censoring process. You get to the censoring process. So that is pretty much the case here. Pretty much the case, and yeah, it seems to be getting worse rather than getting better. So it's quite an uphill task, I think, now for filmmakers and artists.
Yeah, so I guess we're not really. I mean, it's not really different the how the conditions in our countries right now, because yeah, I do feel that it's about the same as that you mentioned, that there was a time in Indonesia where, of course, this is Indonesia is also a conservative country, and but there was a time where censorship was a little bit relaxed, but then
Mm,
now it's all also it has become more rigid, I think. So yeah, I guess we're in the same boat, I guess, for this. But
yeah.
I guess hopefully we, I don't know, maybe in 2 or 3 years things would be a bit more relaxed again. But how do you get around? I mean, how do you and uh, other friends over there get around the censorship issues? I mean, I'm pretty sure there are stories that you would like to tell. I mean, of course, there's self censorship, but also there are stories that you would like to tell that might kind of, have um, be a little bit um, not against, but like censorship wise, it might not go through. How do you get around that?
So, quite frankly, I haven't really faced that issue because nobody really cares too much about short films. Uh,
Mm.
uh, certainly short films that do not have big faces or big names, or so it doesn't really matter too much. Only now that I am starting to work on feature projects and pitch my own feature films, will I kind of figure that and face that. But of course, I mean, being around other filmmakers who are making their own feature films, it's there's not really too much you can do if you're going to raise funds from bigger mainstream producers who do not want to be on the wrong side of the government. Then of course, there's not much you can do except try and be subversive in your storytelling. So you can't really be direct, but you have to find ways to, indirect ways to make, points or commentary that you actually want to make. But if otherwise you want to be, very direct and you want to tell stories that the state might not approve of, I think it's the only way is to find either independent producers who may or may not be based in India, who therefore may be willing to kind of fund these projects, or to do it in a very, very independent way where the money needed is, so less that you can quite, you can figure it out on your own. But then, of course, the screening of those films is still controlled by the government, right? So if
Mm.
they don't get you at production, they'll get you at distribution. Uh, so there's not much one can do, but of course, be subversive and find creative ways of telling stories that would otherwise not be told. So I mean, filmmakers in Iran are obviously an case in point. They are
Yeah.
obviously an inspiration. Um, Hopefully, I mean, you don't want to be there. You don't want to be making films out of smuggling your films out of prison cells. But
Yeah.
but I guess for us, some filmmakers, that will probably be the only way to go. So yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, it's not good news, quite frankly. So
Yeah. Well, hopefully we all have the strength to do whatever we need to do to, have stories that matter out there. And yeah, well, I guess thank you for making Sunday. I mean, that was your first film, and it kind of snowballed well into other things. I mean, your the My Mother's Girlfriend is your second film, I think,
yes,
and
yes, second choice.
that yeah, that was also a charming one. So thank you for um, voicing stories that does matter to people. So yeah, and there are also another question here. Let me check. Ah, okay. So uh, a question from the audience: what inspired you to make Sunday? Is it based on a true event? You already told us the story in the
Yeah.
beginning of the session, and yeah, it was um, it's pretty inspiring. Also, that you can turn something um, something that happens regularly in daily life and make it something that's a charming piece, and that takes a lot of heart, I think. So yeah, and do you have so what projects are you working on now? I mean, yes, obviously now you are attending the VFI Film Festival, but other than that, are there projects that you are in the process of making?
So there are a couple of short films that will probably be happening very soon. I got the scripts and talking to producers, and so those short films will probably happen sooner rather than later this year. There are a couple of other longer projects. I just shot for longer feature, part of which is short and part of which needs to be short. So it's again a very independent project that will probably take some time as I raise money myself. And there are other feature projects that I'm pitching. So I am here in London also doing some research and recce for a feature that is supposed to be based in London. So it's part India, part London, part UK rather. So just trying to use this opportunity and this time to go around and you do some research and recce for that project, which is in very early stages of development. So yeah, quite a few um, projects. There's a lot of pitching happening, trying to get people to give me money to make my film. So yeah,
You know, the joys of networking in a film festival. I guess that's what you're doing right now.
yes, it's quite fun.
Yeah, I mean, I miss going to festivals in real, not real life, real time, I guess, in
Real,
in
yeah,
offline
yeah,
settings. Because I guess I don't know about in India, but in Indonesia, in we're not in lockdown, but we're still having limitations on what can be
right,
on people gathering and such. So I think this year, hopefully, festi- film festivals, on an offline settings will be a thing again. But
right.
it's nice to hear that in another part of the world, people are going to film screenings offline and
And
meeting
they
each other
don't have
again.
masks here. They don't have masks here, so
Yeah.
it's
Is
like
it? Is it?
yeah, it's completely mask free. And the first day I landed, I was like, oh my God, it's like it's back to pre-pandemic kind of.
Right.
So it's just yeah, it's just great to be around people. A little unusual now, obviously, because you're so used to wearing masks and you kind of worried, about whether somebody has, COVID or not. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
still lovely to be around people.
Yeah. I can imagine. And there's a question from an audience also. Um, what is it? Hi Arun, have you considered making film, a feature length film after your successful short ones?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, yes, that's
Yeah.
something in the works.
Any hints what it might be about?
Too early to talk about that.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's
not.
okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
hopefully, if it touches on human rights, we'd be happy to collaborate with you in the uh, exhibition of it here in
Yes,
Jakarta.
yes. I would love to bring the film to your festival.
And hopefully, we can come here in person because, being optimistic,
Yes,
maybe
absolutely, absolutely.
we will be going back to, well, maybe not normal, but, new normal or uh, offline screenings again. So, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, anyone else who has questions, please just write them down on the comments, or you can also put it in the questions box. But I think the comments are much faster to respond to. Here's another one, another question. Hi Arun, I understand that you are attending the FF Fair in London. How's the response from the audience after watching your films, and how is the BFI Fair this year?
Well, the festival is lovely. My film hasn't screened yet. It's supposed to screen tomorrow evening, so I'll know
Ah,
tomorrow evening how that goes. But the festival is great. I think it's. I mean, I am just relishing the fact that I am at a physical event where there are people around to talk about films and watch films with. And it's just a lovely place. I mean, the weather is lovely. Apparently, this is unreal from London's point of view also. So it's just the best now, right now.
so all the pubs are also open, and
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
all the social life in London is also
Absolutely.
accessible, I suppose. Ah,
Yes, yes,
cool, cool,
yes,
cool.
yes. It's absolutely as normal as it can get. Yeah.
Mhm. Cool, cool, cool. So, and how long will you be there for the festival?
So the festival ends on 26th, and I am staying over for a week more. Like I said, I'm just doing a little bit of research and wrecking, and apart from the usual touristy things, for developing this screenplay that I'm working on. So yeah, I'm here for a bit.
Well, I hope you really have a good time there. Here's another question from the audience. What part or element from Sunday that you love the most?
I mean that's easy for me because it's the musical, bit where he's on the chair, that I really love, and that's the bit, which kind of started the film. So the film builds towards that musical sort of uh, bit, and that's the heart and soul of the film for me, and I really love it. I love the music, which has been done by Mangesh Dhadke, who is one of my favorite music composers here in India, someone who I have worked with earlier too, and I mean it's just come together also very nicely with how it's shot by the DOP, and just the expressions on the faces of the characters. Yeah, so it's my favorite bit.
Mm. And also, what is the best piece of advice you've ever received in your filmmaking career?
Received. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, So actually, I read this somewhere, and I don't remember the filmmaker's name, but for the longest time, I struggled with making a film of my own, and I heard or read somewhere this person talking about how every filmmaker has a lot of bad films inside him or her, and only after you kind of get those bad films and bad scripts out of you can you get to the really good ones. So that kind of uh, lifted some of the burden of my shoulders, I would say. I just felt that was very liberating, because and even if it's not true, it just helps you get on with the job of making the film, rather than worrying about whether you can make a good film, or how good the film should be, because the references, even when you're starting, your references are like very high, because you're watching films by the masters, and you think that you should be making something like that, but of course you won't. It's unlikely, and therefore you are a little inhibited, and that those words really kind of helped me. So now I kind of don't worry too much about um, how it will turn out to be, or whether I will be able to make. It's just a matter of just going out and doing whatever you can do, and yeah, I mean it will be fine. It won't be like it. It will be as good as you are. So not to worry about the output, so to say.
And what would be your, um, I mean, if you have something to say to aspiring filmmakers, especially aspiring short filmmakers who would like to portray issues that such as human rights and maybe a little bit subversive. What would be your advice to them?
Uh, I don't know if it's too old enough or senior enough to give any sort of advice, but I think uh, which again is the other advice that seems a little frivolous, but it's a very I think well meant and honest advice is to just do it. Is to just do it, because one can keep sitting and thinking about whether you can do this, or whether you can do that, or how will this work out, or but once you once you make that decision in your head, things happen, right? I mean, if you start
Yeah.
saying that I am a filmmaker and I want to make this film, you will inadvertently reach out, and people will reach out to you to collaborate, and you will find people. Whether those relationships work or not is a different issue, but you will find people and you will find resources, and you will end up making something which will be a reflection of your ability. It might not be great, but it's where you are and who you are. So it's not to worry too much about. It's just to just go ahead with it and do it, because once you make that decision inside your head, things start moving. People start reaching out to you, and you start behaving like a doer rather than just sitting and thinking about it. So yeah, just do it.
Just do it. Okay. So, throw it to the universe, manifest it, and also
Yeah,
believe in yourself, I guess.
yeah,
Because,
yeah,
just
absolutely,
just
absolutely.
do it. It's something that it's really, I don't know. I think it's easy to say, but the process
Yeah.
to getting there, it does need some, maybe also support from close friends, and also,
Yes, yes, yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right, right. I
Well,
think the other bit of advice would be obviously to find people who are, much like you, very keen on making films, who are not so you kind of, lean on each other. And when you have a group of people, who push each other to do things, I think it becomes much easier, right? You have a crew, you have a
mm,
team, you feed off each other's energies, and I think that is uh, the most powerful thing, to have fellow collaborators to
right,
push each other. So yeah, I mean that is doable. Even if the other things are difficult, just to find friends who are as passionate or as interested in doing the kind of work that you want to do. And today with social media, it's very, very, it's quite easy to find people who share your kind of excitements. So yeah, that probably is the first thing, and then just do it. So that's the second advice.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, find a like-minded team, I guess, or people
Yeah,
who share your the frequency, or the same frequency or the same vibe, and
right,
hopefully that will make you a solid team, I guess.
right,
And
absolutely.
just do it,
Yes,
and go out there and do the thing. Start
yes,
writing, and then start shooting, I guess. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Thank you for that. And I mean, I guess I know. I mean, I have friends, and also I have people in the festival who comes up and share their stories that, yeah, they want to do a short film, but they don't know how to start. So I think that is a good suggestion, that find like-minded people, and just start doing something about it, and hopefully something hopefully something will come out of it. And yeah, like you, that was as you shared your story before, it was a nice drama-free film shoot, and hopefully everyone can experience that, because
yeah.
um,
Hopefully, I wish
yeah,
everyone that. I wish everyone a drama-free set. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I know drama is sometimes makes things exciting, but too much drama it you know kind of brings everything down. So yeah, yeah, yeah. And I anything you would like to say, as or to say to the Indonesian audience, or probably other audiences from other parts of the world who has joined us here for, I don't know, closing remark, I suppose.
Uh, I mean, I would just want everyone to kind of go and see the film, right? I mean, it's on YouTube for another 8 9 days. It's on YouTube till 26th on
Until the 27th, I think.
27th, British Council's, so if you just Google,
Mm-hmm.
it's there for people to see alongside four other very beautiful films. Uh,
Yes.
that would be my message. Like, please go and watch my film. And
Yeah.
yeah, do let me know how you feel. If you kind of like it, if you don't like it, just let me know. Because this is, for me at least, a great opportunity to have a film been shared by so many people, so many British Council offices, as well as by festivals and groups like Mani Asia Film Festival. So yeah.
And yeah, it's still um, everyone who would like to watch. It's available on YouTube, like Arun said, and maybe if you would like to go to our partners' Instagram uh, feed, you can find the link there also from British Council, and
Right.
people can reach you where, Arun, if they would like to comment
On
on your website.
Instagram, I think
On
if they want,
Instagram, yeah.
then Instagram is a good place to
Mhm.
reach out. Of course, there's Facebook too, but here, if you are on Instagram, I think this is a good enough place to reach out.
All right, very cool. And I hope you really have a great time over there. And you know, I wish you many, many um, good things for your projects, and hopefully, everything goes well. And yeah, mean, I'm really happy for you that you're there and um, having a live audience tomorrow. Good luck for that, and um, I hope that it will also inspire you to your future films, how the audience reacts. Because I'm pretty sure, from what I know, the audience is at BFI and BFI Flair. They're really nice, and hopefully that would bring you more. I don't know, not ammunition, but more energy, I guess, for your future
Yes,
projects. Yeah,
yes, yes,
and
yes.
yeah. So thank you very much for making time to spend your evening with us. Well, actually, it's in London. It's
Afternoon,
still afternoon, yeah. So I wish
right?
you a great afternoon, a great Sunday over there, and
Thanks.
I wish you many luck in your future projects. And hopefully, we will see you again sometime soon, and hopefully in person.
Yes, hopefully in person. Thanks so much, Rain. Thanks so much for hosting this, and thanks so much for pushing and promoting the film on alongside British Council. Thanks so much.
Yes. You're very welcome. I mean, it's a charming film, everyone. So please do catch it while you can still catch it for free and online. So yeah, um, thank you, Arun. If you, I know, if you would like to go back to your routine, please do so. And yeah, we'll see you soon, sometime soon, hopefully.
Okay, okay, Rain. Bye.
Bye bye. Have a good day. And thank you, everyone, for joining. Arun said earlier at the British Council website, or you can check out the links at ID British Arts. They have a link tree. You can check it out over there. Teman-teman yang ingin menonton filmnya, silahkan silahkan dicari linknya, bisa dicari di YouTube atau juga bisa dicek juga di um, sosial medianya British Council Indonesia. Ini misalnya di ID British Arts itu ada link tree yang bisa teman-teman cek, dan di situ juga ada linknya yang bisa teman-teman akses untuk menonton filmnya. And thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Terima kasih semuanya sudah hadir di sini untuk bersama-sama untuk sesi diskusi dan ngobrol-ngobrol sih sebenarnya dengan Arun. Jangan lupa masih ada kuis-kuis yang menarik dari Urusan Manusia dan British Council untuk acara Five Films for Freedom ini. Silahkan cek di IG stories dan juga Instagram feed-nya 100% Manusia. Dan mungkin kalau teman-teman juga ada yang main di Twitter, juga bisa cek di Twitter juga. Juga bisa dicek juga di British Arts dan di ID British Arts dan ID British account. untuk acara-acara untuk info yang lebih lengkap silakan juga di sana, dan juga akan ada webinar juga di hari Kamis. Jadi teman-teman yang ingin menonton silahkan nantikan pengumumannya. Dan juga minggu depan di hari Minggu, tapi agak lebih siang, kita akan ada satu film chat juga dengan salah satu sutradara dari film Frozen Out yang ditayangkan juga di Five Films of Freedom, yaitu How Chow, saudara nama saudaranya. Jadi teman-teman silakan download dulu filmnya. Nanti jika ada pertanyaan-pertanyaan bisa langsung ditanyakan ke saudaranya ketika kita IG live chat gitu. Saat ini untuk teman-teman yang sudah berkomentar dan juga sudah bertanya, silakan ditunggu apakah beruntung. Jika Anda beruntung, jika teman-teman beruntung, nanti tim 100% manusia akan menghubungi teman-teman untuk hadiah dari Shanto dan kamu. Begitu. Jadi, teman-teman, acara Five Films for Freedom akan ada sampai tanggal 27 Maret. Silahkan dicek film-filmnya. Silahkan juga main ke akun ID British Arts untuk info selengkapnya. Dan juga nantikan kuis-kuis dari kami juga, dan juga pengumuman tentang acara, webinar, dan film chat berikutnya. Terima kasih sudah menemani kami malam ini, sudah bersama-sama kami, dan sampai jumpa di lain kesempatan. Stay safe everyone. Hopefully we hope to see you again next time. Sampai jumpa kembali. Selamat malam dan selamat berakhir pekan. Sebentar lagi Senin, tapi nggak apa-apa, masih ada beberapa jam lagi. Jadi sampai jumpa teman-teman. Good night.